Hello, it's Mrs. Duke here. I was hoping to do this presentation as part of an information session for parents in school. However, as we don't know when this might be able to happen, I thought I would move it to online, especially as some of you will have first and then packs and communication books in your home learning packs this week. I hope you find it helpful. So, visual strategies, written lists and schedules. We all rely on visual strategies to organise our day, week, month or our year. And this is no different for children, especially those who have delayed speech and language or those who have autism. It is especially important for these children as visuals act as prompts, help them organise their thinking, and most importantly, help them understand what is happening now or next. If they don't understand the spoken word for that activity or request, or they don't respond to social cues, then visual strategies are really important. So why do we use visual strategies? Well, poor auditory processing. This describes what happens when your brain recognises and interprets the sounds around you. Children with difficulties in this area may miss information if only spoken and not supported with a visual aid such as pictures or sign language. Delayed information processing accounts for inability to focus, a lack of organisation at home and with schoolwork, and impaired executive functioning. This is where a child may have trouble with certain skills like planning, staying organised, sequencing information, and self-regulating emotions. Again, using visuals can support with this. Problems with working memory. Your working memory is the part of the brain system that provides for storage and manipulation of information that's necessary for cognitive tasks like language comprehension and learning and reasoning. Pupils who have a poor working memory may have difficulty with recall, focusing, organisation, and distinguishing between important and unimportant cues. They may distract easily, become forgetful, or have difficulty getting started on tasks. So again, having a visual timetable in front of them can help with that. Children with autistic spectrum disorder are visual learners and they think in pictures. Visual information is more concrete, literal and clear, and for non-verbal children, pictures can be a communication tool. I know that some people worry that using visuals such as communication books or picture exchange communication system, PECs, stops children from using speech. However, this is not the case. Using visuals supports with this and actually contributes to a total communication package, the same as when we use sign along, which is sign alongside speech. Children who are non-verbal, who have limited speech, benefit from the use of visuals and sign to support their speech and language development. So the benefits of using visual aids. Visuals provide clarity and predictability to routine. They help organise a child's world. They provide concrete visual information. They help communicate expectations and consequences and help a child communicate their needs and wants. And this all then reduces anxiety and behaviour problems. There are lots of different types of visual aids and various steps for teaching them. So I will just go through those different types with our pupils, which our pupils are using, but I'll explain the process first. So we start by just doing a picture exchange. So this is where a child exchanges a picture for something they want, or the child might not necessarily give the picture to you, but they might point to it. We then progress to using a now and next board or a first and then board, where you use a non-preferred and a preferred item. So first bath, then laptop. We then build on that and we use a now, next and then board where you're chaining 3 tasks together. So now teeth, next bath, then laptop. And then you start by building that up to a simple routine board where you might add 4 or 5 pictures into your routine. So get dressed, get undressed, brush teeth, go in the bath, then laptop. And if you'll notice, the last picture on each is the laptop, which is obviously a more motivating activity than the previous ones. Once the children are confident with using that, we then would use a master schedule, which is a series of simple routines on one schedule, which I'll go on to show you later. So, activity schedules. The pictures in your packs could be used to make up your routines for your child to follow at home. If there are specific pictures you need, then feel free to email me and I'll do my best to get these to you. But there's lots of different types of visual schedules and routines. So here's an example for getting ready to bed, pyjamas, teeth, bathroom, wash hands, read a book, then bedtime. They help the child to see what is coming up and in what order they should do it. Here's a few other examples. Doesn't matter what kind of pictures you use, whether it's photographs, computer images, and sometimes even just the objects, as long as your child understands why you're using them. So here's a couple of examples here. So morning, wake up, get dressed, breakfast, brush teeth, and then you can see that they get more complex the more the child understands the use of visuals. Another example is a permanent activity schedule. So this is when a child has developed a good understanding of using visuals, and you can set up one of these, and these are your non-negotiables, so almost like rules. So here is an example where you could use a whiteboard pen. So before dinner every day you hang up your coat, you put your shoes away and you do your homework and tick them off. And then after dinner, you take your dishes to the sink, load the dishwasher, then you can watch TV. There are various different versions of these schedules. In REs, all of our children have their own individual schedule or timetable so that they know what they are doing each day. Staff go through it with them when they arrive in REs each morning. So sometimes the master schedule might be a series of things on Velcro which is to be done, and once the child has done it you then move it over to the finished line. Another example is placing pictures on a board with an envelope at the bottom, and once the child's completed them you can put them inside that. In REs, the children's timetables, each picture is on Velcro, and when they've done it, some of them take it off to show they've done it, others are quite happy to leave it on and just know what's coming next. So portable schedules. Portable schedules allow you to break down the master schedule into simple routines, ending with a preferred activity. So sometimes something on the schedule might require a portable schedule which sequences each of the steps of the task. For example, getting ready. So the first portable schedule here shows getting dressed, going to the toilet, washing hands, brushing teeth, and then watching TV. So the task on the master schedule is getting ready, and then you use your task sequence or portable schedule to explain to the child the steps involved in getting ready. Another example for this could be going on a trip to the park. So before the trip you need to go to the toilet, then you get on the bus, then we're going to have a walk around the park, then we'll have a snack, then we'll walk back to the bus and back to school. So on your master schedule you would have a picture of perhaps bus saying trip out, but then you would have your portable schedule to show each of the steps involved with that trip out. With each task sequence, it's always best to end with a reinforcer, which is the preferred activity, because obviously brushing teeth and getting dressed are maybe not that motivating to a child, so you always put that activity at the end, so they will do each of the steps first and then get their preferred activity. So using reinforcers, build them into your picture routines. You can build up a menu of things that the children prefer. So bubbles, outside, iPad, trains could be a few examples. And you can encourage the child to choose what their reinforcer is for each of the tasks. You can place it on your board as a reminder. once the children become more advanced with using visuals, or if you don't have it to hand, you can use things like star charts and carry tokens to do this. Here's an example of my star chart. So at the top there, I've chosen my reinforcer, my motivating thing, which from my choices of spa, plantation walk, yoga and shopping, I've chosen chocolate. And to get my reinforcer, my motivating thing, I need to earn my stars from my picture schedule. So for me it could be setting up for a lesson, completing the lesson, doing break duty, etc, and doing all that during the day earns me my chocolate. For a child it would be their timetable in school, so perhaps they have to join phonics session, math session, story time, topic work and PE, and if they got a star for each of those sessions they would then get their reward. We also use visuals for task sequences. So you might have on your picture schedule that it's time, a picture of brushing teeth, but then a child might need the task sequence in the bathroom so that they know the steps for that. And other examples for that are hand washing and using the toilet. So put on toothpaste, wet the toothbrush, brush your teeth, brush your tongue, rinse, spit, dry mouth. Something that you have got in your pack this time is a now and next or first and then board. They can be called either, but it's just really important that you keep your language short when you're doing this. So first magnetic numbers, then ball bounce, first bath, then computer. And your first is always your non-preferred task followed by a preferred task. So something you want them to do by something they would like to do. If the child is resistant, be consistent and don't give in. And you can start to extend this with more activities, which is then what we would call a schedule. Using a first and then board. So here's the first and then board, and in your packs you have a range of different cards which hopefully you'll find useful. To use a first and then board, make sure you have what you need ready. So for example, if you're going to do work, make sure the activity is ready for the child. Use the first and then board to encourage the child to move away from what they're doing. So simple language. So for example, first work, then play with toys. Make sure that this is a reinforcer, so something that really motivates the child. This should be something you want them to do, and this should be something that they want to do. If you've used your first and then board, don't change this. If they complete this task, make sure you follow through with whatever this is. The child needs to know, to trust you, that if they're moving away from something they like, that they can go back to it, or there's something better coming up. Complete the activity, so this could be ordering numbers 1 to 10 for example. Keep it short. Once it's finished, go back to your first and then board and say, work is finished, now you can play with the toys, and let the child go and play with the toys. You can change the cards. So for example, maybe you want your child to have a shower, but then they love dinosaurs. So something you want them to do with something that they love. This has to be really motivating. Once they've had the shower is finished, now you can play with the dinosaurs, and make sure you follow through with that. Another example could be at home, complete a puzzle with you, but then they can go on the trampoline. So you would say, first puzzle, then trampoline. Keep your language really short, really simple, and be consistent. and always follow through. So don't give in to this until they've done this. Okay, so visual schedules can be used to support any activity and will help your child understand what they are doing now and next and manage expectations. It makes it clear what they will be doing and helps to manage behaviour in certain situations. If you are using a schedule, then it is advisable to stick to it so as not to cause distress to your child. Meltdowns will often occur when a child doesn't understand what, where, who, how and why, so try to be clear and consistent. Here are some examples. So taking it into the community, if you need to go and do your jobs, just explain to the children what it is you're going to be doing. So we're going to get petrol, we're going to the shop, the bank, and then McDonald's. So there's your reinforcer. Another example here would be going food shopping. So these are the steps that we're going to do to go food shopping. We're going to park the car, hand holds onto the trolley, mummy gets the food, pack the bags, pay, shopping in the car, drive home and play with toys. So there again at the end you've got your motivator, which is playing with toys. Another example would be going to a party. So here are the steps needed to go to the party. So drive to the party, say hello, give present, music and dancing, party food, cake, say thank you, drive home. We can also use visuals to teach sequences to reduce difficult behaviour. So we can do this by teaching consequences. So you were angry, hitting means no iPad, everyone's sad. Or we can show an alternative to reduce the behaviour. So you're angry, use your communication book, jump on the trampoline, ask for help, everyone's happy. And then you've got your picture there, your no hitting as a visual reminder. So if you're angry, you can use your book, trampoline, ask for help, and everyone's happy, no hitting. Communication books. If your child has one of these books in their pack, it's because they used one in school. The purpose of a communication book is to ease frustration with communication and to also give children who are perhaps non-verbal or have limited speech a voice. We use this in school to help children make choices and to ease frustration if they are feeling angry, upset, or perhaps they just can't make a choice about what they want to do. This book has different sections in, so you've got food and drink items, there's toys and activities, feelings, emotions and needs, and feelings and pain. Some children's books might also have routines in them. So how we would use this in school is perhaps at snack time we will have this book available. The ideal really is that a child will go and get their book themselves, but many of our children are still at the stage where we have to guide them to their book or give it to them to make a choice. So at snack time we might say, what do you want? And then they'll look through their choices and they might say or point to, and as they point we will say the word. So I want apple, and if apple's available and it's a choice they're allowed, then we will get it. If it's not available or not allowed, then we will say no, and that's perfectly acceptable to do, the same as if it was a child who has speech and asks for something that isn't appropriate at the time. Same with activities. So sometimes a child might be getting frustrated about something in the classroom and we recognise that perhaps it's because there isn't something available to them. So we will guide them to their book or give them their book and say, what do you want? And often our children are used to doing this and will point to what they want. And as they point, we will say, I want trains.
And again, if it's something that they are allowed to do, then we will get it for them. Otherwise, we'll say no. And it's the same with feelings and pain. And a good thing to do is, if your child is tired and you know that they're tired, it might be a good idea to actually label that emotion and show them the picture. So if they're irritable and you would recognise the signs that they're tired, you could say, "You're feeling tired." Or perhaps they're angry, "You're feeling angry." That helps the child then learn what that picture is and what that word is for that emotion. And if they do identify, "I feel hungry," then guide them to the food and drinks pages so that they can make a choice.
Thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful. I realise that this was a lot of information. However, rest assured that your children are using visuals in school. They're used to them, and I'm sure they will surprise you with how well they respond to them at home. These strategies will not always work, but they do help, and if we use them consistently at home and school, it will support their communication development. Please email with any questions or with any pictures which you haven't got but may need at home. I hope to see you very soon. Bye!